Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we've got yet another transmitter from Flysky. This is the PA01. This is one that's sent out purely on EdgeTX open source firmware. So similar to how we got with the EL18 where there was no Flysky firmware, it's all Edge. This is going to be another one. Quite interesting, this one. It's got real funky features with lighting. But we've got colour screen but not touch. Some people don't like the touch screens, and to be totally honest, on Edge I've used quite a few radios now where the touch screens, the icons are kind of too small to touch, so I can see why people would prefer the way this is done. But yeah, let's bring you in for a close-up look and see what we make of this one. So, a bit of a departure from Flysky's sort of blacked out boxes, but we got a full colour box on this one. Doesn't tell you an awful lot. It's designed for ELRS, EdgeTX, does support the AFHDS3 protocol. If we flip it round, it's got very little information on it, just a bit more box art. So definitely like the way that Flysky are tending to go more towards sort of upmarket sort of packaging, and that it does give it a bit more of a quality sort of appearance. We got the nice Pro Art PA01 logo, and we got plenty of sponge in here to protect it. We've got the actual transmitter itself, which is really nice. Hope it gives you some idea of the size. It's considerably smaller than like the PL18 Ultra or anything. Got lots and lots of buttons on it. We got the antenna that can pull up on top and twist. And then on the back we got more buttons. We got a removable plate for the FRM303 and adjustment holes. More dials on top. We've got a switch, a momentary, and then 2 3-position switches. 4 buttons on here, 4 buttons there, 4 trims, the power, and then you've got your gimbals. Can't see anything to say these are Hall effects, so I'm guessing that these are just standard gimbals. But if I do find anything else out, I'll let you know. So in the box we get as instructions that nobody ever reads. On the box we do have a scratch off logo. Then we get one of the nice thick quality Flysky USB-C cables. Loving them. Pretty decent length and pretty decent quality as well, to what I'm finding. We do have a screen protector fitted on it. You've also got the connection cable. I believe this one is the connection cable for the FRM303. We have another screen protector, so nice to see we get a few of them. We get some nice big Flysky stickers, because we all love stickers. I think there's 2 lots of them. So we also get the tiny TMR receiver, and I believe it says something in the manual about on the early firmware this only supports 1-way but 2-way telemetry, which is a bit of a strange one, but we'll have to have a play around with this at a later date. But we get a tiny little receiver. It looks like we get 4 spare antennas in case we're destroying antennas at an alarming rate. Maybe this is something more that you'd sort of run into on the little drones. I'm guessing this type of receiver and transmitter definitely aimed at the drone market. And then we also get a breakout cable to come from the receiver to whatever you're going to wire it into. Let's now have a closer look at the actual transmitter itself. So transmitter wise, let's get the little protective film off the screen protector. Put that to one side. So we've got a nice jog wheel. If you notice, it comes in the box with the sticks missing. They're actually in the rubber grips. So let's get these out. And these are quite nicely adjustable. You've got a little lock nut on them. So if you want them further out, you can have them further out. and these are quite a nice design, very comfortable, easy to hold, and they do feel nice and grippy. As I say, you can see it's definitely a lot smaller, this transmitter. If we grab sort of the PL18 Ultra, that gives you an idea of just how much smaller they are. But the sticks are very, very close space-wise. So hard to see, but there's very little. These are slightly further in. So it's not too compact, but definitely a lot smaller than the likes of the PL18 Ultra. So if we flip the transmitter over, you've got two sort of little markings on the sides, and these are for getting the rubber grips off. So if we flip both these off, so if we take them off and we slide this up, and then we find a Wtf Rc Cars logo. They always manage to hide one on them somewhere. As you see, this is the output port, where if you slide the FRM303 onto the back, you've then got the output port. You've got your output connector for external modules. Here and here, you've got the reset and the DFU mode buttons, should you need to do that. And it is, again, like the EL18 and most of the new transmitters, it is being powered from some 18650s. And I keep getting messages about these, and people seem to be really confused. So 18650 is the actual battery size, the physical dimensions. And I have people message me saying Flysky transmitters don't fit 18650s. They do fit 18650s. It's just that places like to advertise batteries that are not 18650s as 18650s. So, to give you an idea, and I'm going to try and do this without shorting the battery, which is not ideal, but an 18650 is literally 65mm long by 18mm wide, and that is an 18650. If you are getting 18650s that do not fit, the chances are they've got an extra bit on the top because they're a protected cell. You shouldn't be using them, and they're not 18650s. But basically, I will put a link to these. These are really good. They're a genuine 2800 milliamp hour each, and these do fit in all the Flysky transmitters and charge and work really, really well. One of the things what I love with this, I love how you can see all the electronics inside, whole circuit board and everything. And while we've got this view, so you've got numerous little adjustment screw holes, and these are so you can adjust the actual gimbals, and you can adjust the tension and the auto return. Like the one down at the bottom here, that's tension, and then you've got another one here, and you've got another one here. So there, and I don't know where the tension is for that one. It's kicking around somewhere. But basically, you have the separate little holes that you can adjust the tension and the auto return. And then you just need a little screwdriver, and you can tweak away and set them up how you like them. But yeah, do like the way that we've got all these little covers. So let's put his batteries in. The only thing I'm not overly keen on is having to take these rubber grips off and on to get to batteries. I know you'll not do it that often, but I find that the more you have to take these rubbers off, the less they kind of snap back and fit properly. And from transmitters I've used in the past, I've found that most of these, once you take them off, don't ever go back on properly, but these don't seem to be too bad. They seem quite stiff rubber, and if you work your way around them, they do seem to stay put pretty good. But yeah, that's how you get the batteries in, how you get to the adjusters. Right, so we got his batteries in. To power it up, we press the power button, we hold it, and then it fires up. You'll notice this is on version 2113. So basically, we've got a jog wheel that we can press to set everything, to go through his menus. So this is the stock setting as it come, but I've changed the lights to react to where the sticks are, which is quite funky. We've got as return and as model, and then as menu buttons to flick through menus. So if we jump into model menu, you can use these to jump across the EdgeTX menus at the top. And anybody that's used EdgeTX, basically the sky is the limit with what you do, customization and settings. Then we use the jog wheel to go through the menus. So as stock, as internal RF is AFHDS3, so it's Flysky protocol. We've got up to 18 channels, and it does support the CFast, routine, fast 8 channel or LoRa 12, so we can go through all them. You've got adjustable power, so 25, 50, 100, 250 or 500 milliwatts. Do love this setting because I can see people using this sort of tiny transmitter but mega powerful because of Edge. I can see them using this for the Tamiya trucks and that type of sort of vehicle where you want lots of adjustability and programmability, but you don't want a huge great transmitter. Now, I have done my best to get the screen to show. I've turned the brightness right down on it, but it does play havoc with digital cameras. I think if you use an external module, I think you can go up to 36 channels on EdgeTX now. So we do have the external options. So it's going to support pretty much everything. If we jump out and we go into the transmitter settings, so if we look through, as I said, I've updated this to 2113 with a bit of help from EdgeTX team. Did initially try EdgeTX Buddy, although it recognises this transmitter, it doesn't understand how to update the firmware yet, and it did brick it, so I had to restore it. But yeah, doing restores and everything on open source transmitters is really easy. Just put them in DFU mode and reflash the .bin file. But yeah, quite a nice layout. So we've got as trims.
Trim center. Trim center.
We've got these 4 buttons. We've got model, return, and then menus. Then if we look on the top, we've got a switch, so a latch switch. We've got a momentary switch. We've got 2 3-position switches. We've got 2 more dials, fully variable dials, and they do feel quite nice, sort of capped with metal and knurlings. Then we've got 2 momentary buttons on the back. So yeah, overall, really like it. The audio's really clear on it. Outputs on the top, we've got USB-C for programming everything. We've got a headphone socket. We've also got the DSC socket, which is used for training and things like that. But yeah, this is just a first look at the actual transmitter, just to give you guys some idea of the size of it and everything. Anybody that's used to using Edge, there's a whole myriad of things you can do with these transmitters. So basically everything from driving an RC car to boat to aeroplane, drone, it's all supported on Edge, or you can just play Snake from old Nokia games, old Nokia phones, which is a whole load of fun, just to get used to your transmitter. But yeah, everything seems to work on it. It does support Betaflight, supports Express LRS, so we got quite a lot of support for it straight out of box. You've got all your different themes if you don't like blue. And we've also got the script installed to control the LEDs. So we can come in here and you can change it to whatever you want. So you don't have to have it following your sticks. I think for me, I just set it to throttle, so it follows what the sticks are doing. But yeah, really nice, really tidy. Really like the screen. There is no SD card in this one, so no SD card slot. So the memory, I think it's got about 1 gig of memory, which, to be fair, for EdgeTX should be absolutely plenty. We're not struggling for space on the SD at the moment, and I've got a couple of backup firmwares on there and things, so yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. It's nice and fast to transfer stuff to, with it being USB-C, and yeah, it's quite comfortable. Grabbing the transmitter, so if you hold it like that, you can easily get to the buttons on the back. I can easily get to these. It does feel a stretch to these top buttons and these. So these sort of rocker switches, it does sort of feel a bit of a stretch to them. But depends on the size of your hands and depends on how you really want to hold it. But yeah, I suppose you can operate them like that. And then, but the actual gimbals feel really comfortable. So the main controls that you're going to be using all the time just feel really, really nice. And I do like the texture of the rubber. Does feel grippy, don't feel like you're going to drop it. There is an extra charge base you can get for it. So you can just plop it on and it'll charge up, or you can plug it in USB-C and it'll charge the batteries. We've got its full battery readout and everything. But yeah, to power it off, just same as normal EdgeTX. Just press and hold it, and to power it on again, tap it, then press and hold. All your lights will go up. But yeah, it's a funky, really interesting, quite small and nice to use sort of transmitter. Now, the strange thing for me, I could actually drive an RC car with both these unlocked, and it does not bother me in slightest because I'm used to playing PC games using an Xbox controller. So I'm used to both sticks being sort of free all the time. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't give you any instruction on how to lock these if you just wanted left, right and up and down. But to be totally honest, if you got used to it, I don't think it'd bother you. Certainly on consoles, I never accidentally press one when I'm thinking of doing other, but I think it's just muscle memory. But yeah, I'm sure if you wanted to take it to bits, you could lock one of the directions out on each one, so you'd just got left and right, up and down. Really depends. But yeah, that's the first look at the PA01 new EdgeTX open source transmitter from Flysky. So let's wrap this one up. So there we have it, the PA01 tiny little EdgeTX transmitter. To give you some idea of size, that's the EL18 at side of it. So it is considerably smaller. It is really comfortable. But yeah, leave comments below on if you'd want to see more of this, more of what the settings do, if you want me to try different receivers with it, run through basic setups for RC cars or something. But yeah, thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.